Hello, my dear viewers and the rest of the listeners. Welcome for this presentation in which I'm going to speak on the topic, your office is not your home. Your office is not your home. My name is Meme JM, or you can simply call me Emily Swap. Whereas it is true that if you don't work, you should not eat, many people dive into the ocean of work until they forget who they are and what they should be in real life. They end up replacing their own self with the job that they do. In fact, many people even forget their own personal life, their personality, and the life of their family, and replace it with the life of the organization or institution that they serve. They forget that their job, their work, and their rank is just temporal, but the life of their family and the welfare of their home will outlive their job. They are thus drunk with the income that they make from their job and the many accolades that they receive from their job titles and forget their own life as well as the life of their family as they replace it with the life of the organization or institution that they serve. They focus more on their work, use all of their time to perfect their places of work and their offices at the detriment of their own families and even forget to build or improve their own homes. They thus spend all their 24 hours in a day for 7 days in a week and all the days of the month while just concentrating on their work and serving their employer or their institutions and have no time to spare for their families or even time to reflect about their personal lives beyond their jobs. They thus commit all their time in their office or in their job, with their diaries and schedules fully loaded with the organization or institutional activities, with no time set for personal development and family bonding. In addition, some spend all their time in pursuit of money, allowances, and bonuses as they try to gather all they can without minding about others, including at times when they are supposed to be relaxing with their families or for the sake of earning income. As a result, many people or such people are ready to spend all their time during the weekdays, that is Monday to Friday, their evenings as well as their weekends, while executing their office duties as long as they are able to make something extra into their pockets. As a result, these people are fully possessed by money mentality and their job or work mentality, and they lose their own personal lives and the life of their family courtesy of their job. They forget that in all or it's all in vain, and it's vanity of vanities to acquire the whole world, be accorded all manner of titles possible, acquire all the wealth possible, and receive all manner of accolades, but then lose their families. This mentality is even worsened by the fact that someone is possessing a possessional power and authority within the place of work. This position that they hold and the allowances, job titles, and the remunerations that they make from it make many of them to slide even further in forgetting themselves and diving into the drunkenness of power and authority. This power and authority make them feel as if they are on top of the world, are untouchables, and are the most special persons that the organizations cannot do away with. They thus even lose their personal perspective of life and lose touch with the realities of life due to the great power that is vested on the honorable and respectable titles that they hold, the mighty salutations that they receive from everyone, the tight security that they are accorded, and the voluminous bonuses that they draw from their possessions of power. As a result of these excellent and top of the world job titles that they are endowed with, these people view every other person as insignificant. They develop a don't care attitude and handle all other staff as useless and miserable remnants of the earth. They thus mistreat and despise everyone that is of differing opinion and make sure that they do all that is within their power and authority to make sure that such people with differing opinion do not receive any promotion of whatever sort. In addition, these people lead their institutions and the organization that they are employing them or that are employing them as personal property, for they feel that without them, such organizations cannot withstand the times of times. They thus never imagine that a day will come when they will be forced to vacate their offices and depart from their institutions as retirees. And they even resist to retire when their time comes because they feel that they are the only ones that are competent to serve. They are thus even ready to make amendments to existing retirement policies so that they can have all their time to serve having been extended beyond the stipulated retirement age. They thus treat everyone that reminds them about retirement as serious threats that should be eliminated from their offices and institutions because they have been drunk with the power till they perceive that their organizations or offices are a personal property and their homes. In addition, such staff are always ready to reproach any staff that seems to make use of their free time to develop themselves, and they make sure that they overload such staff with institutional work till they have no time for their personal development. They view any staff that is making extra coin away from their official jobs as threats and are thus ready to force their staff to remain idle within their institutions, even when they have no work to do, as they utter statements such as, "You are paid to remain in your place of work, even when you have nothing to do." In addition, when they realize that someone is even trying to establish some personal income generating projects outside of their jobs, they are ready to steer the transfer of such staff so that they have no time to run their income generating projects. These individuals view anyone that is trying to develop themselves, even career-wise, as threats to their possessions of power, and thus they even formulate policies that do not acknowledge one's career progression, and they tag one's performance on attributes that are not measurable. Then, when any staff raise complaints in relation to stagnation in one job group for a long duration or for poor pay, these individuals will tell such staff to resign and create room for other employment or others' employment if they feel that they are not comfortable with their current status. Further, such individuals will do or what is within their mandate to ensure that they block any staff whose star may seem to shine from holding any managerial position, from attending any workshops, trainings, or seminars, and from performing any role that may add some monetary value to their lives. They even intimidate those that seem to be making progression in their lives and in their work by appointing incompetent staff to supervise them, allocate them duties that are not within their areas of specializations, and even account them tasks that are meant to be performed by those staff that possess low competencies or credentials. In addition, these kind of queer supervisors make sure that they block the lines and channels of communication with the staff so that this staff may not know about the available opportunities so that they can have conducive environment to appoint their cronies regardless of their competent levels. According to such supervisors, their stomachs are key, and they don't care even if the organization that they serve collapse or collapse for as long as they have filled their personal stomachs and accommodated their cronies. They are always surrounded by those members of their organization or institutions that have a gluttonous spirit just like them. And such are the people that they promote to positions of authority, regardless of their level of competence. They appoint incompetent staff to positions of power so that they can create for themselves room to gather and loot as much as possible without being questioned, because they will always treat the promotion of such incompetent staff as favors. As a result, such incompetent staff are always ready to be manipulated and controlled by their supervisors to dance to their tune without questioning their authority. Such people even go to an extra mile, make sure that those that they serve or supervise bow down to them and just sing songs of praise to them, even when those in authority are wrong, just for the sake of attracting the eye of those that matter. Further, those in possession of authority do all that they can to accumulate everything within their organizations for their own individual gratification, while leaving the rest of the members of the organizations to suffer. These kind of people make sure that they do all what is within their mandate to ensure that none of their staff shines more than them. For this reason, they formulate policies that violate the rights of those that they are leading and make sure that they hide any relevant information that may enlighten their staff about their rights. They also make sure that they deny those that seem to be more knowledgeable in their jobs than themselves any opportunity to make them get acknowledged, and are ready to go any extra mile to make sure that such staff that may seem to outshine them do not get any opportunity that may expose their potential to those in authority or to their superiors. Then, when anyone questions them on any matter, they treat such staff as threats to the institution and even lay upon them accusations that are fake and invalid, just for the sake of making them suffer and be viewed as bad people within their organizations. In addition, such individuals make sure that they attend all the trainings and the seminars themselves without giving any other staff an opportunity, and especially when those attending such trainings or seminars may be receiving some allowances. To such people, they dominate every opportunity that arises and are ready to have their institution lack representation in such seminars or trainings if they have no time to attend to such forums themselves or their cronies are not available. However, when it comes or it becomes mandatory for the institutions to attend such trainings, workshops, or meetings, and they themselves are not available, they secretly appoint some of their incompetent cronies to secretly attend to such forums without letting the rest of the members of staff know about it. They send such weak staff to such forums instead of sending those individuals that can make a positive impact, because such staff that lack the potential or knowledge in a certain area will just be subject to manipulation. Then, when such incompetent staff return from their trainings, workshops, seminars, or meetings, the management does not require them to alert the rest of the staff about what transpired in such meetings or trainings, because they don't want the competent staff to know about it for fear of being asked questions that they may not be ready or able to answer. So, the rest of the staff only come to know about such trainings, workshops, seminars, or meetings having already taken place through other avenues, and they ask the management, or when they ask the management why they were not informed about it, these fake managers try to find ways to justify their actions. In addition, Such people in authority try to come up with many policies that can create for them, as well as their lieutenants or cronies, opportunities to receive more allowances without minding about the outcome of such policies to their organizations. In fact, such leaders or managers try to formulate as many policies as possible, regardless of their implementation, just because that the process of policy formulation creates for them more opportunities for more allowances as they retreat to well-remunerating avenues for such processes. Then, when the competent members of their organizations refuse to implement such substandard policies that they were not involved in the process of their formulation, they are forced to implement them. And when they fail to, they are blamed for the failure to implement such policies. They further threaten the competent staff that raise eyebrows on the errors in such policies and view them as arrogant, insubordinate, and controversial. So, these self-minded people in authority invoke the members of staff that are not even experts in certain areas to go for retreats to formulate policies, even in areas that they are not competent in, or leaving out the competent staff because they fear the competent ones to develop policies that may deny them opportunities to loot. Such people in authority get drunk with the power until they transfer the same to their families at home and believe that the same command that they attract from their job titles must be respected even in their own houses, which is a serious mess and a misconception. In addition, such people that get drunk with the power and authority even forget that they just transitioned from being ordinary members of staff to the offices that they hold. As a result, they develop a don't care attitude concerning the welfare of the rest of the staff for as long as they themselves are getting what they want. They derive pleasure from the suffering of the rest of the staff because they believe that they will be able to assert their authority when their staff are under their mercy. To this end, they make sure that they delay even the salaries and the wages of their staff without minding about how their staff will be able to take care of their bills and meet their basic needs. They thus close their eyes on the complaints raised by their members of staff and threaten those that raise such questions with punishments, including threatening to sack them. In addition, such office-green persons promote the incompetent staff at the expense of the most qualified staff, just because they know that a competent staff that has expert power will not bow low into executing tasks that do not match with their competencies. They thus elevate and promote incompetent staff even when the competent ones are available and are ready to serve their institutions to the best of their abilities. This then creates a state of disagreement between the competent staff that are not holding office of authority with the incompetent persons that are holding supervisory roles whose tasks and responsibilities they do not even know. This is because those competent staff that are specialists in their fields will not be ready to perform tasks that are outside their specializations or tasks that have been poorly formulated due to lack of knowledge by those formulating them. This then makes those competent staff that have not been assigned any positions of authority to be viewed as arrogant and disobedient, simply because they are not ready to implement the policies or tasks that are not properly set out or formulated. As a result, the competent staff in such organizations are viewed as threats to the management and are not even consulted for any advice to the management. As a result, you find out that those competent staff that want to retain their jobs develop a don't-care attitude to the tasks taking place within the institutions and stop being vocal in correcting the management in any way. They thus maintain a low profile and let the incompetent staff continue to dominate the institution without minding about the organization's attainment of the set out objectives and other plans. So, these people that are holding positions of power and authority reach to a point where they are not able to differentiate between their office and their home, or their titles in the place of work to their roles at home, or their power in their places of work to their positions in their family. So, those people that are holding positions of power and authority reach to a point where they are not even able to differentiate between their office and their home, or their titles in the place of work to their roles at home, or their power in their places of work to their positions in their families. As a result, you may realize that such a person may end up even converting his or her house at home to become an extension of their office. They therefore even carry their office work to their homes or houses and continue with it instead of leaving it in their places of work. They even fear to delegate their responsibilities to any other person, for they better die while performing those tasks themselves than to delegate them to any other person, because they have an illusion of fear of being overthrown. So, if such people command those that they supervise in their places of work, they also transfer the same commands to their children, husband or wife, and expect them to behave like the staff that they command in their places of work. Such people forget that the titles and the positions of authority and the power that they hold in their places of work does not apply to their homes and their families, and that such titles will not remain forever. They forget that other than the job that they are employed to execute and the titles that they command in their places of work, they also have private lives to lead and families to take care for, both at the current moment and when they will retire. For this reason, my dear viewer and my dear listener, if I have discussed any attributes that you feel that they apply to you, I kindly call upon you to change your attitude and your perception about the rest of your staff members and your institution that you are currently serving. Always remember that you are currently occupying that office and receiving those accolades because there are individuals that have accepted to serve you as your juniors, and they thus deserve to be treated as human beings that have human feelings, and thus your work should be to uplift their feelings and raise their positive expectations. Always taking good care of your organization that you have been assigned to lead, as you taking good care for the staff assigned to you and the properties that have been invested upon you. Don't be a person that is only focused on gratifying your stomach and satisfying your personal ego at the detriment of others and of the organization. So, whenever you are tempted to grab anything from the organization or to deny anyone any opportunity that is rightfully his or hers, kindly remember that if you are personally denied such an opportunity, or if those before you grabbed what you are supervising today, you would not be where you are today, and the organization that you are serving would not be there for your service. Therefore, make sure that you take good care for all what has been placed upon you as its steward, and use that opportunity that you have been given to strengthen the bond between you and your staff, and between the board, between the staff themselves. Always create room for your staff to thrive and shine, and let those that deserve promotions to get them at ease. Let your joy and happiness as a leader Be when everyone within your organization is feeling to belong, and treat everyone with justice and dignity that they deserve. Take good care for those in need. Listen to those that complain and create avenues to make everyone feel as if this place of work is their second home. So, in everything that you do to anyone in that organization, do it remembering that whereas you are their boss and they are your juniors at the place of work, you all have a life to live beyond your job outside the organization that you serve. Therefore, create a harmonious working relationship with everyone. Solve your differences collaboratively and as equal peers while at the place of work, and accord everyone the rights that they deserve justifiably and fairly. In addition, as an ordinary staff, always remember to take your annual leaves, your offs, and your holidays and utilize them to improve on your personal life and the life of your current and future family. Make sure to build your home to where you can run it to in the case you lose your job or when your landlord sends you away. So, don't be a staff that remains comfortable while accommodated in your employer's residence or staff quarters because anything can happen anytime. This is because it's also very dangerous for you to wait till you retire or till you lose the job, only to realize that you had not built your own residence and then you start struggling in the last minute. Remember that once you retire or leave your job, your colleagues and your employer may no longer be interested with your personal and private welfare, and you will be replaced and forgotten as soon as you leave the organization, regardless of the myriad accolades that you are receiving. Therefore, as a staff employed in a certain organization, remember to commit your free time when it's not time for the official work to attend to your personal issues, personal development, and your career progression. Avoid viewing your employer and your current office as the alpha and omega to your life by facilitating your own personal development whenever there is an opportunity to do so, but not at the detriment of your current job. Therefore, don't make use of the time you are supposed to be serving your employer to do your own tasks that only benefit you while deserting your official jobs or your official responsibilities. If you feel that you are not comfortable with your current employer and that there are better opportunities for you away from the current job, and you feel that you are prepared for the same, just allow the employer to terminate your employment instead of earning from an employer whose job you are not executing. This is because it is wrong and immoral to remain in an employment from where you are earning income, yet you are not performing the duties that you are paid to perform. However, the best justice that you can do to yourself and to your employer is to effectively serve the organization that you are employed to serve during the stipulated working hours, and then utilize the rest of your time to perform tasks that improve on your personal life, the life of your family members, and your current and future home. Therefore, don't allow your employer to deny you your free time by overloading you with official tasks or responsibilities, even outside your normal working hours. Otherwise, if you accept it such, you will be replacing your personal life and the life of your family with your job, and at the end of the day, this may make you to lose touch with your family and even lose it. Always remember that it's better to lose your job and your office, but gain your family and develop your personal life. Always remember that your job is just a facilitator to leading a good and personal as well as family life, but it cannot be equated to your personal and family life. For this reason, never allow your office tasks and your job replace the possession for your family and your personal development. Remember that you can always change your job and change your office to another office and another employer, but once you lose your personal and family life, you may not regain it again. Don't love money and ranks at the expense of your family members and your personal welfare. This is because even if you gain the entire world and accumulate all the wealth that you can, if you have no good relations with your family or you have lost the touch and the grip of your family, you will never live to enjoy your labor, and your sweat will just be for the benefit of other people that have never added any value to your work or to your personal life. Remember that you can always change your job and change your office to another job, another office, and another employer. But once you lose your personal and family life, you may not regain it again. Therefore, in as much as you have the heart to serve your organization, your institution, and your employer, remember that your family needs your attention and your personal life needs your care. For that reason, learn to balance between your family and office life, as well as your personal life and work life. It is better to lose your job and your work, but not lose your personal life or your family. However, it's more satisfying to serve and improve both your personal and family life, as well as the life of the organization that you are serving. For this reason, create clear boundaries between the time to serve your employer and the time to serve your family and build your home. Always remember that your office, your work, and the titles that you hold at your place of work are very distinctive from your personal life, your family, and your home. For this reason, my dear viewer and listener, I would like you to open your mind now and be able to distinguish and separate between your job and your home, your office, and your family. So, in as much as you may be holding tough titles in your place of work and receiving accolades from every direction, kindly note that there is a season for everything and for everybody. So, whereas you may be appearing as a star at a certain time, that shining will get doomed one day, especially if you are holding another person's star. It is therefore important to note that the work that you are holding today in whatever institution or organization cannot be equated to your family. For this reason, whereas you may be holding high positions in your work and receiving great and honorary accolades and salutes from everyone, you must differentiate between your work and your family. Always remember that the position that you are holding today was one day held by someone else, and you will also relinquish it one day. For this reason, make sure that you separate your work and your office from your family. Therefore, make sure that you don't replace the time that you are supposed to be with your family with office work. You should thus balance your office time and your family time. Avoid carrying your office work to your family or to your house, or your family work to your place of work or to your office. For this reason, leave your titles and the possessions of authority at the place of work and go home to your family as a husband, a wife, or a child. Even if you are a commander at your place of work, don't transfer your commands to your wife, your husband, or your children. So, if you are somebody's child, when you go home, leave your job titles in that institution and go to your parents as an obedient child. If you are somebody's husband or wife, when you go home, behave as the good and obedient husband or wife that you should be, separate from your personality and the titles you hold at the place of work. Then, when you go back to the place of work on the following day or on the next day, you are free to pick your titles and address in your authority at that time. Similarly, leave your office duties at the office and don't extend your office duties to your home. This is because when you are at home, you should dress in the armor for the home. So, all your tasks and responsibilities at home should be a distinct entity from your office duties. For this reason, make sure that you have adequate time to spend with your family as either a child, a mother, a wife, a father, or a husband, and not as a boss. Similarly, even if you are a chief commander of a battalion at the place of work, don't make a mistake of transferring your authority to your home and trying to be a chief commander to your children, your husband, your wife, or other family members. For this reason, don't spend your offs, your holidays, your evenings, or your weekends while executing office duties at the expense of your family unless it is an emergency that is short-lived. Always remember that your home and your family will live for as long as you are alive and even after you have died. But you will leave your office at retirement and your titles once you leave that office of authority. In addition, don't carry your treatment at home or your family to your place of work or your office by expecting every staff there to treat you the way you are treated at home. So, if you are, for example, a child and your parents do for you everything while at home as their child, don't expect the staff at the place of work to treat you as their child because you are just but a colleague. If you are treated by your wife as a king while at home, don't expect your colleagues to treat you as their king because you are just but a colleague. If your husband treats you as a queen at home, don't expect your colleagues to treat you as a queen at the place of work. Similarly, don't transfer your office or work stress and frustrations to your home or transfer your family stresses and frustrations to your place of work. Therefore, discipline yourself to wear the appropriate hats at the right time. The hat for work while at the office and the hat for the family while at home. Always remember that the title that you possess at the place of work is just different entity from you as a person. This is because the office is not the person leading it, but it's the duties that are performed by that office, and thus that office will outlive you. In other words, the command and the respect that you get from the rest of your colleagues is due to the office that you are holding at that moment. And even if you are to leave that office today, another person would occupy that office on your behalf. For this reason, learn to distinguish between the office that you are holding and you as a person. This is because you are a distinct entity from the office that you hold. Therefore, always remember that whereas you may be being praised and saluted by everyone while being served as a boss, a day will definitely come when you will vacate that office either as a result of retirement or on medical grounds or as a result of completing the term for that office. With that in mind, you will be able to note that you must make use of that office and the position that you occupy to improve on the welfare of your colleagues and for the well-being of the organization that you serve. By so doing, you will be able to avoid personalizing your office as you relate with your colleagues. It is important for you to always remember to distinguish between the office that you hold and the staff that you are leading. This is because you are all human beings who have a life to lead outside the organization or institution that you are serving. For that reason, always remember that whereas you may disagree job-wise, you are still individuals that have a life to live and lead outside of that job or outside of that organization or institution within the community. Therefore, in whatever that you do as a staff in authority to the rest of the staff, remember that a time will come when you will be citizens out there. After all, you are all members of the community outside there, and therefore, in as much as you may differ in your opinions at the place of work, don't transfer the same to your colleagues outside of the job environment. Therefore, you must all learn to live as collaborative equal peers, both at the place of work and outside of the place of work. So, if you are holding a position of authority, make sure that you use that office to improve on the welfare of your colleagues, regardless of the positions that they hold at the place of work. Don't view your colleagues as threats to your success at the place of work, and don't block them from shining if they are qualified and competent to shine. Always remember that you have a life to lead and live away from the place of work. After all, you will always need the support of those individuals that you are mistreating at the place of work while in the community. For this reason, if you become the obstacle to their progression and you derive pleasure from their suffering, how will they be able to support you while away from the place of work when you need them? For this reason, always remember that your office and the position of power that you are holding have just been invested upon you because there are people that you are leading, and other than them being your colleagues, they are also the people that you require even when you will not be working. For this reason, always remember that in as much as you are their supervisor at the place of work, they are the same people that you need their support from at your family level at one time or another away from your place of work. So, when you are assigned any position of authority, give opportunities to those it's due. Treat all the staff just as you would like them to treat you. Appoint those that are competent and qualified to serve for the sake of achieving the organization's goals and objectives, and avoid personalizing any disagreements that are job related. In addition, remember that the office that you are holding is just for a season, and thus you should use that opportunity to not only improve on the welfare of every member of staff, but you should also build strong foundations for profitability for the good future of the organization. Remember that if those that were ahead of you did not take good care of that institution or organization, you could not be holding such position. So make sure that in everything that you do it according to set regulations so that you can leave that organization in a better position than you made it. After all, even if you are to make such an organization your personal property, what will it gain you if it collapses and every person pointing fingers to you as the cause of their suffering? So, even as you exercise and assert your authority at the place of work, remember that a day will come and you will leave that position, but you will still require the support of the members or of the others. For this reason, in whatever that you do at the place of work or to your colleagues, remember that your office is not your home, neither is it your family. So, you should ensure that in whatever you do to your colleagues, it makes them better and improves their lives because you still need them away from the place of work and at the time of need, even after your retirement. Remember to establish harmonious working relationship with your staff. Put up programs to improve on the welfare of every staff and give each of them an opportunity to thrive because after all, you are all staff for that season and a time will come when none of you will be in that place of work. In conclusion, always remember that your office and your work is just temporal, but your family and your home will live even after you have left your job. For this reason, make sure that in whatever you do at the place of work does not interfere with the current and the future life of your colleagues, your family, and your home. This is because your job is not your family and your office is not your home, but your family and your home is your job and your business. Therefore, don't be drunk with the power emanating from your job or work and forget that you have a family to nurture and your home to build. So, as you shine in your place of work, remember to treat each member of staff with dignity because you need them to lead a dignified life at home after you have left your work. Similarly, create adequate time to work or improve the life of your family members as you clearly separate it from your job because at the end of the day, your family will be your refuge and your solace at the time of need and after you leave your job. So don't allow your rank or your remunerations at the place of work interfere with your relationship with your family members because it's only your family that may not turn you down at the time of need, and it's only them that you are going to run to when everybody else will have left you. Therefore, in everything that you do at the place of work, remember to build your home and strengthen the bond between you, your colleagues, and your family members, because that is the only long-lasting investment that you can ever make while active at the place of work and active at home. Always remember that your job or your work is neither your family nor your home, but the success of your family and your home is your responsibility and your personal business as well as your job. Congratulations for listening to this video on your office or about your office being not your home. Congratulations for listening to this video on your office is not your home. To easily access more life skills, motivation, and inspirational resources from this Emily Swap Life Skills YouTube channel, click on subscribe button below this video if it's not currently reading as subscribed. You can also access various resources in ICT or computer field by searching for and subscribing to Emily Swap ICT YouTube channel if it's not already reading as subscribed. For any further suggestions, corrections, or queries in relation to this video and the others posted in any of the above two YouTube channels, that is Emily Swap Life Skills YouTube channel or Emily Swap ICT YouTube channel, kindly feel free to write it to us through the email emilyswap@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening to me, and may God bless you to distinguish between your job and your family. Be blessed.